Good morning, team. What's up? Happy Thursday. So what was that pump? I put it in Discord. Someone said something about Meta. Was there news about Meta? What happened? Pretty cool to watch how volume profile levels work, though. I mean, check that out. I had this level drawn up like a week ago, and that's where it started the pullback. I didn't take a short. I would not do that going against a massive pump like that, but still, it's pretty cool to watch. They're hiring an executive from Apple. Gotcha. Exciting news, I guess. Well, game plan for today was if we hold above this value area low level at like 540-ish, then I was going to be looking for continuation long. And it definitely did. I mean, last night it kind of just chopped around in this range, and we didn't really get much movement until just now, 20 minutes ago. So at this point, just hoping we get some sort of pullback at the open. But with the bullish news from Meta, I kind of wonder if the open is just going to go up, straight up. So I'm not opposed to entering a super small position on a momentum trade if it does open like that. But we'll see. I would prefer a pullback. We do have Asia low, London low. Those would be decent liquidity sweep areas. And then this red line is an anchored VWAP from this recent low over here, the previous day low. And it's actually in line with where yesterday's session VWAP closed. So that's in like the 577 to 586 area. So assuming we get a pullback, I don't know if it'll happen, but that would be a decent area, just lots of confluence. If there's like a liquidity sweep and it bounces down towards that area and we get a bullish reaction off of it, that would be nice. Possible scenario there. Another idea is that we have a lot of chop in this region from last night. Our current VWAP and then yesterday's session point of control, there's a lot going on at this level around 640-ish, 640 to 650. So this could be a decent spot for a pullback too. That would also be retracing most of that news candle. So we'll see. Yeah, take note, Marvel. Buckle up. That's the truth, right? Ah, look at you, G-Man. You got that same level. Isn't it cool? Like, once you get the hang of that visible range volume profile and you can find solid support and resistance levels, then it's just a matter of figuring out how to trade the levels and trusting that you have them right. It's a pretty powerful combination. I'm not as good at it on ES, but I'm also not as practiced. I've been doing it on NQ for many months now. ES, I kind of just started charting side by side maybe a month ago. So you can see this one, it kind of came into that general region, but it wasn't as clean as NQ was. That was beautiful. How did I draw the top resistance level? I used visible range volume profile. Check out my videos on it. I have some pretty in-depth explanations, but it's an indicator that draws the volume on the side. You can see this bar over here. But whatever price action is on the screen, this volume changes. So I zoom out to like the 1 hour, the 4 hour, however much I need to get all of the price action on the screen, and I use it to find support and resistance on the higher time frame. So I actually have this level drawn up from last Sunday, so almost 2 weeks ago now. And that was actually in the game plan that I drew up. I said that if we stay bullish, I think my text said 700s, but the arrow was pointed right here. And then if we break this, the next level I have is 26K. But yeah, that was the first stop that I was thinking. Oh, good call on gold, G-Man. You're the gold whisperer. Jeff, how do you join the Discord? There should be a link in the description on this video. Let me see if I can get a link for you right now, and I'll put it in the chat. But you might be faster than me. Just check the description in this video and there should be a link there. All right, market's open in less than a minute. All right, cool, Jeff. I went to pull a Discord invite link from my phone and then post it on the YouTube chat, and my phone died, so I'm glad you found it because it was going to take me a minute. All right, let's see what the market open brings. As always, hoping for a pullback, but let's see if it just blasts straight up. All right, come down a little bit. Give us a good entry. Give us a chance. I'm gonna watch and see how it reacts at VWAP, point of control level. If it doesn't hold there and it like just drops 590-ish maybe, grab this Asia low, London low liquidity. So far, dropping hard. NQ sitting right at VWAP. Hello from India. Welcome. All right. This thing's dumping. So the meta news was somewhere around this candle. So I've noticed a lot of times it'll like retrace news and then continue in that direction. So that would be somewhere on here at like 6:30. But I don't want to try to catch a falling knife. So I'll wait for a strong sign of buyers taking it back up. Make a video on price and volume relation. What do you mean? Like the visible range volume profile that I use? Not sure what you mean. Woo-wee. Who did it? I thought we were supposed to have some bullish news and this thing was just going to go to the moon. What happened? Was there some other news that I missed? What in the world? This is wild. So much for a liquidity sweep. That did not have a reaction at those levels at all. Goodness. All I can do is laugh at that. Gosh. Who got in a short chat? Come on. Somebody's making money on this dump. Jeez. That is not what I expected at all. All right, so this value area low level at like 540-ish, that was kind of the game plan level that I made, like if we hold above there. So I'm going to take a stab at it, just 3 contracts, because this is catching a falling knife. Don't follow me, you guys. This is a dumb move. But the risk to reward on it is good if we are going to continue back up to the 700s. That was a wild drop, you guys. Come on, let's move up a little bit. All right, I'll set one sell order at point of control, which is also VWAP, just in case this thing is going to continue dumping down. But I like the level it bounced at. So I could see us continuing up. Maybe not. Putting my stop loss at break even. Gotta get some continuation. All right, break even on that one. That was dumb, you guys. Don't do that. We did get a good bounce and we got some momentum up, but definitely in the realm of trying to catch a falling knife. All right, so I still like the idea of longs. I just want to wait for a little more confirmation. It's starting to reclaim these overnight lows. Now it's kind of chopping around, trying to figure out what it wants to do. ES is holding above VWAP. NQ is sitting below right now. All right, I'm going to take another stab at it now that I feel like it's settled a little bit. 632 is where it entered. Opening range is almost set. This is our 15-minute high right here. Well, it looked like it was going to move up for a little while. And then it kind of died. What the heck? This is super choppy. Alrighty, let's see what happens. Might be wrong and this thing's just going down today. All right, let's start marking off anchored VWAPs. It is hovering below all the VWAPs right now, but it doesn't look like it's trying to go lower, but it could. So I'm going to be patient and wait for some confirmation. The difference in where NQ and ES are on their charts compared to yesterday's price action is very interesting. We have NQ is sitting close to value area low. That's what this is right here. ES is actually above yesterday's value area high. That's strange. You're watching for a short, Zach. What I'm kind of hoping for is, now that the 15-minute opening range is set, I would love to see it come back down to the bottom of the range and maybe wick out of it to the bottom of my support zone at like 525-ish. And then I would take a long off the bottom of the range if that happens. Waiting for confirmation, obviously. I don't want it to be like it was in the open where it's just like dumping. So I didn't even watch this. That was my bad, honestly, on that liquidity grab, like pump, where I probably should have taken profits. In hindsight, it all just happened so fast. But looking at ES over here, ES still has not hit its overnight lows. So the liquidity grab did not happen on ES yet. That's something I need to get better at watching for, but that definitely could have been an indication that the drop wasn't done yet. So ES just hit its Asia low. That's what that little pump was. Don't want to take a long yet. London low is a little bit lower. Still hasn't grabbed that yet. And then NQ is kind of hovering in the middle of nowhere. So if ES comes down to this London low and grabs liquidity and pumps back up at the same time as NQ comes down to this 15-minute low, that could be a decent long opportunity, some good confluence there. Let's see. For now, it's still chopping. Come on down a little further. Let's see if my red dot works. Maybe NQ just doesn't know where it wants to go and it needs me to tell it. Come down here and then bounce. Oh, Jeff living on the wild side, placing a buy order at this London low. Let's go. I like it. I like it. Oh, come on. I would love to see ES sweep that London low and NQ come sweep the 15-minute opening range low at the same time. Come on. Get in sync, you guys. Work together here. Oh my goodness. All right, ES is at that London low. Is it gonna bounce? How do I determine the value area low? It's an indicator called the session volume profile, and I mark it off from yesterday's New York session. Check out some videos I post all about how I mark off my levels. Olga, you have lots of questions, and I've shared my whole playlist with you. All the questions that you ask are in my videos. Go watch them. For free. I don't charge it. Go watch them. ES had a nice little liquidity sweep. Man, I wish NQ would have come down a little bit lower. And I definitely don't want to enter here and chase it because stop loss all the way down here, 42-point stop loss. I don't like that. I would like it to come down a little bit more. I don't know the video title, Olga, but if you go to that playlist that I told you about a couple days ago, my futures trading strategy, it's in there. Check the titles. I usually name them something that would give you an idea of what it's about. But you can check out the ones that are about how I draw my daily levels. There's also some that are specifically on session volume profile. All of those are going to answer those questions on how I get my levels. It'll come lower. Price action is not pointing higher. Yeah, I still like where we're at. I like thinking in terms of risk to reward. Like, this is the bottom edge of my long territory. So the way I'm thinking is, like, if it comes all the way down to here-ish, I wouldn't have to give it that much room because that's kind of the bottom of my range. But if it gets to be bullish and it holds that level, the upside is 180 points. So risk to reward on that is huge. Still think we could go up. Just don't want to enter here. Choppy, choppy. All right, 601. Taking a stab at it. Based on the fact that ES did grab that liquidity and it's moving up. ES is still not back up above the 15-minute opening range low, though. Probably should have been a little more patient. All right. I'm annoyed with myself. I should have waited there. Yeah, Stockfather, it is still below VWAP, so that was not smart. All right, let's see if it does come down to that red dot and then what kind of reaction we get. Because I could be totally wrong and this thing just dumps. If this support area doesn't hold and it falls below, we have previous day low, might hold up there. If not, 25,300-ish is the next area I see. Okay. Came down to the opening range low. What are you gonna do down here? ES is still hovering slightly above that London low. That's a good sign if we're gonna hold. It still looks pretty weak though. I don't like it yet. Yeah, Stockfather, that very well could happen. Like I said, if this level doesn't hold, could come down to at least previous day low, and then if it doesn't hold, I see 25, 3, 30-ish. This is not a very enthusiastic hold right here. Three contracts, which is way below my risk, just because I'm going to make sure it bounces here. Oops. Not looking great. If it does hold, that's a big if. I'm not super convinced right now. If it breaks above this anchored VWAP and starts to get back above the 600s, we could possibly add. But if this thing is going to return back to the highs that I'm thinking it might, I might not even need to add because there's a big upside. Just needs to get out of this chop. Jeff, no, that's a kind of a thing with Discord. There's spam accounts that like create other Fitmom trader accounts. That's not me. I don't send friend requests and I'm not going to try to sell you anything. So no, just ignore those. Yeah, they're usually trying to like get you to sell their copy trading and all kinds of random stuff that hopefully would obviously be a scam. Kind of trying to move up. I'm still not convinced though. It's stuck in this chop range and below VWAP, so it's got some work to do. Gold's dumping for you, G-Man? Let me see. All right, so if gold's going down, then my NQ long should be good, right? They're supposed to be inversely correlated. Come on. It's not looking like it right now. How's the Mag 7 looking? Kind of mixed. Some are a little bit red, some a little bit green. Meta might be the only reason that it's not totally dumping. I sure hope so, Stockfather. That's what I'm betting on. And I'm new and would like to start day trading. Can you walk me through what you're seeing on your screen? What's up? Welcome. Well, there's a lot to that question, honestly. But I basically just I mark off levels, and I guess if I'm going to sum it up super simply, I trade support and resistance. But I use the higher time frame to come up with a bias. So today I was looking for longs as long as we held above this level. So that's why I'm in a long right now. And then I use other more short-term levels like this value area high, point of control, and value area low, which is hard to see because that's where my stop loss is. That is from yesterday's New York trading session. And then I have some levels that are from today. Like this 15-minute opening range low is just from today's session within the last hour. So basically I use a lot of different things to mark off areas of interest and where support and resistance might be, and then watch for reactions at those levels. But I mean, I know there's a lot more to it than that, but I do have a lot of videos on my channel about how I mark off my levels and all that, how I find support and resistance. So feel free to check them out. But yeah, good. Welcome. Not looking super strong. It's not just straight dumping though. So there's a chance. There's quite a bit of orders coming through around this area. Just a matter of Are they sell orders or buy orders? Ah, good. Glad that you have found them helpful. And yeah, if you have any questions about like specific strategies or whatever, I'm happy to help. Gold's giving you another short opportunity, G-Man. Let's see. Coming up to another fib that you've drawn, maybe. Let's see if it rejects that 50%. I don't love it when it's super choppy like this, though. And it's chopping around VWAP. I've only had good success with it when VWAP lines up with the fib. Come on, NQ. Are we going to get continuation? Or are you just going to make me sit here for an hour? Are you going to take that short, G-Man? Looking decent so far. Entering right at that fib. You wouldn't have to give it that much room either. I don't know. Doesn't look like it's super trending to me. Like I said, it seems choppy. But NQ is too. I guess that's the theme of the day. All right, come on, NQ, let's go. Now we are coming up to that New York anchored VWAP. Gotta get through that for this trade to work out. Nope. Coming right back into the chop. This is definitely a good day to stay off of the 1 minute chart and zoom out a little bit. Well, ES ended up holding above London low. Never really closed below it. But ES is also below the 15-minute opening range low. So we got some work to do if we're going to continue higher. Yeah, I could see that, Verisat. This could be a range trader's dream right here if you're zoomed in on the 1 minute. I've tried that before. Trying to like draw a little box around the range and long the bottom and short the top. Not good at it. Have to admit, I have blown a couple accounts trying that strategy. Then I wised up and realized that's not for me. Not my strength. Hey, Dennis, good. I'm glad you found it helpful. Take it slow with that flex. Let's go. And come back, report back in a little while. Couple weeks, couple months, however long it takes. Let us know about your payout. Would love to see it. Stockfather, you'd only go long if it breaks 647. Yeah, I mean, that's yesterday's point of control. That's a decent level. I don't know. I'm starting to get more convinced now that it's right at the New York anchored VWAP. I'm not saying it has broken it yet. But if we start to close above like 25,610-ish, I'd feel a lot better about it. And then as soon as we pass VWAP, which is at 625, like the session VWAP, I would feel pretty good about it coming back up to the highs. But obviously I wasn't super convinced when I entered the trade because I only took 3 contracts. Made me sweat it out. How long ago did I enter this trade? 20 minutes. Chopped around for 20 minutes. And looks like it's coming right back into the chop. Jeez. Come on. Can we get a closure above? All right. Rejecting. And there she goes. So our initial balance is set in about 4 minutes. Gonna see what happens. That's gonna be annoying. If my idea was right, it just wicked me out and then continued in the direction that I was planning. It's probably my least favorite thing when that happens. I'm not saying it's going to, but that would be annoying. Check the anchored VWAP on the 1 minute. Yeah, it's been pretty clean resistance the whole session. That got some decent momentum right there. Let's see if that's where it breaks. Good little bounce there, but still stuck back in this range. So not convinced until we start breaking above, like, I don't know, 620-ish, 630. This whole chop zone right here is ugly. All right, 30 seconds to close on this 5-minute candle. Looking like it wants to close above VWAP. Gosh dang it, you guys. Come on. We're gonna actually make this thing happen. Sam the man, do I teach a course or do one-on-one? I don't do one-on-one, but I do have a premium group in my Discord, which is a very small group right now. So, I mean, you would pretty much get one-on-one attention. But I do have a course that basically it's very similar to what I have on my YouTube, with a couple other things in there. Like I have some info about how I wait for confirmation of entering a trade and how I come up with my daily game plan and bias and stuff. So there's a couple different things in there. But the main thing is that it's a more organized, consolidated, like step by step. So if filtering through 200 videos on YouTube is a little bit overwhelming, you can hop in there. It's $39 a month. I didn't want to make it crazy. And that gives you access to the videos in the course. And then in the Discord, I stream this live. YouTube has a natural delay. There's like a 20-second delay or something like that. So Discord is getting it live. And then we have a chat group in there where you can share trade recaps and like get feedback on trades that you took. So don't want to mislead you and think that it's one-on-one, but it's a very small group. So you would get a lot of coaching if you had questions. So yeah, hop in the Discord. You're welcome to come ask me questions if you want to learn more about it. my chart is cutting in and out. I don't know. Someone else in the chat said that their screen was having to like reset every 30 seconds, but then someone else said that it was fine for them. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I usually get like a big red pop-up if my stream is not going through. And I haven't gotten anything, so I don't know. Anyone else having issues with it like freezing? This price action is sucking today. And maybe me not doing a great job of trading it. Probably a combination of the two. I am on Wi-Fi, but I've tried to do like a hardwire connection, whatever that's called, where you actually plug in. And that actually made it worse. I've tried that before, and the stream totally dropped. So I don't know. And I have good internet. Like I've done an internet speed test before, and it's crazy good. I'll look into it today after the stream and see what I can do. Sometimes there's settings that I can change on my streaming software. Might be something in there. All right, so NQ convincingly got above the New York anchored VWAP. I like that. Kind of hovering at the session VWAP right now. ES is blasting through both. So let's hope that NQ decides to follow along. Let's play Simon Says. Follow the leader. That's the word I was looking for. The other kids game, not Simon Says. I think I need to go back to bed, you guys. I go to the gym and work out at 5 a.m. in the morning, so I wake up at 4. Because that's when I have time, you know, by the time I pick up the kids from school, our normal schedule is like sports and homework and all that, so I don't have time for myself in the evenings. So I go work out in the mornings, but by the time it gets to like Thursday and Friday, it catches up with me. I'm like, man, I could use a nap right now. All right, at least gonna move to break even in case this thing goes sideways. So my original target when I was like drawing up my game plan for today, when I was looking at it last night, was this zone up here at like 7:30ish. I would like to see it return there. Like that's kind of what I have my sights on, my target in mind. But I'm a little bit nervous about it since that's where the news candle brought us. I don't know if we'll go all the way back up there. But if going lower, if that was the liquidity we needed to like actually go where I think we're going eventually, which is 26K, I want to be on this ride for at least part of it. So kind of just talking through target ideas. Could scale out around this value area high, previous day high level. Could definitely scale out at initial balance high. See what happens. Yeah, I'm an early bird. I've been in the gym industry since I was 20. And then recently, the last 15 years, my husband and I owned a gym. So I think being in that industry, you kind of have to be an early bird because all of the personal training sessions are at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Like that's when you're busy. The peak hours are early morning before work and then evening after work. So it's crappy hours if you have a family because you have to be up at the gym working from 5 to 7 p.m. every day. But yeah, think about it. The average person works, 9 to 5. So gym workout times are 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. or later. So I guess my clock has just gotten set to like being a morning person. I'm up ready to go in the mornings. And kids too. I have 3 kids. 2 of them have gotten to where they actually like sleep. Like if I didn't wake them up for school, they would sleep. I have one that is an early bird. And he always has been. Even when he was a baby, he would wake me up at like 5:30 in the morning and wanted to play, ready to go. And he's still that way. So even if I wanted to sleep, he wouldn't let me. Yeah, I've had a couple people mention that the stream is lagging. I don't know. I'll have to check out my settings when I hop off. I can't change anything right now. Trying to give this a little bit of room to breathe, but also realizing that it is a choppy day. So don't want to give up too much of the unrealized profits. For now, it's still hovering around VWAP. Let's see if it holds. Do I always let the trade play out? You have a bad habit of taking profit early. So that's a good question. I like to scale out and then let runners run. But to answer your question in short, yes, I do prefer to let the trade play out. The reason is over the time I've traded, I've realized that I have a bigger tilt trigger when I exit early, like I just grab 10 to 20 points, and then it continues in the direction that I had in mind. And I'm like, dang, I could have gotten 100 points out of it. Those are the times when I've had massive FOMO and just like re-entered a trade and then blown accounts. So the way I manage that, like understanding my emotions and the way I react to those situations, I scale out so that I can at least lock in some profits, and then I leave runners so that I can feel like I caught a majority of the move. I hope that answers your question. I kind of do a little bit of both. Yeah, today's just a crappy, choppy day. Not fun. So that one got stepped out. Got a good bounce off of that New York anchored VWAP. And now coming down. This late in the session, we could take a look at the current session volume profile. Yeah, I figured that the point of control would be somewhere around here. Because of all this chop for the last hour or so, this could be an area where it holds a support. Not looking good for longs though, unless we get some quick bounce here soon. Right back into that chop zone. Ugly day, you guys. Have fun cleaning the pool, Stockfather. Take care. All right, gang. If you haven't already, go hit that like button. We have 75 people watching. We definitely don't have 75 likes. Got our initial balance low here. Forgot to mark that line. Wouldn't be a good sign though if it comes all the way back down to IB low. I wouldn't love the idea of taking a long if that happens, unless there was like a super strong bounce, but wouldn't want to see it come that low. We have a bunch of news tomorrow, don't we? From what I remember, there's a bunch of different data releases. Michigan sentiment, PCE, factory orders, consumer spending. Yeah, a bunch of stuff dropping at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Be ready for that. Might actually get some good movement tomorrow. Not this. This makes it hard to trade. All right, Verisat, have a good one. Yeah, I think it's about time to call it. This is just choppy. I mean, I could have maybe guessed taking another long here because it came down to this consolidation zone and started to bounce, but there is no momentum behind it, and I feel like I would just be sitting in another 30-minute trade that gets stopped out at break even. So I'm not interested in trading this. Looking ugly. Yep, I think I'm gonna close up shop there, you guys. Hit that like button on the way out. Hop in the Discord if you're not in there already, and come back tomorrow. I'll see you then. Take care, guys.